Hello and welcome to the Administration for Native Americans tutorial on the Standard Form 425. The purpose of this tutorial is to demonstrate step by step the correct way to fill out this form as it pertains to ANA. You can also find written instructions in your ANA post-award manual that was distributed at the post-award training, or you can download the manual from the ANA website. And with that, let's begin. Due dates. The date your reports are due depends on which program area your project falls under. Native language grants, EMI, and PNM are awarded earlier in the year than the other program areas, so they will have different report period end dates and report due dates. These charts give you a general idea when reports are due, but you should always defer to any clarifying emails sent by ANA for your actual dates. A few reminders: it is important to submit your reports on time. Reports are automatically date stamped upon submittal. Late reporting can adversely affect your project. For instance, grant amendments cannot be processed if your reports are not up to date. Also, final reports are due 90 days after the close of your project and will be cumulative for the entire project period. What you will need to fill out the form: the first thing you'll need is the SF425. Grantees that have other federal grants should recognize this. A fillable PDF form can be found on the whitehouse.com website. Important things to note: this is not the same as the Division of Payment Management's Federal Financial Report, and the short version, the SF425A, is not acceptable for your reporting requirements to ANA. The second thing you're going to need are your financial records. Gather your financial records for the budget period you're reporting on. These can include the FFR report to DPM, accounting for all expenditures, any program income, and non-federal share. You should also have a copy of your current Notice of Grant Award and Indirect Cost Rate Agreement if applicable, as you may need to refer to it. And a note about the personnel filling out your form: it is important to have your authorized organizational representative available to sign off on the form to submit. This is especially important if the AOR is different than the person filling out the form. Grantee information. We're going to begin by blowing up the top portion of the 425 form so everybody can see it clearly. For box number 1, you're going to enter HHS/ACF/ANA. For box number 2, we're going to enter our grant number. For those who haven't committed it to memory yet, it is located in box number 3 of your Notice of Grant Award. Boxes 3, 4A, and 4B are self-explanatory. They are your name and address of your organization, your DUNS number, and your EIN number. Box number 5 is an optional field. Box 6, you're going to select the type of report you're submitting. ANA no longer requires quarterly reports, so your only options are semi-annual, annual, and final. Select semi-annual reports for the first report of your budget year. Select annual for your year-end report, and final for reporting at the end of your project period, which is due 90 days after the close of your project, or if you need to submit budget year-end final 425s with a carry-forward request. Box number 7, you're going to select the type of accounting you use, and if you don't know, check with your financial person or accountant. In general, cash basis refers to the accounting method in which expenses are recorded when they're paid. Accrual basis is when expenses are recorded when they're incurred. For box 8, this is where a lot of grantees aren't sure how to fill out correctly. What you're going to enter is the start and end date of your entire project period, and if you're not sure, it is available in box 9 of your Notice of Grant Award. In box 9 of the 425, you're going to fill in the end date of the period you're preparing. Federal cash. A few reminders: you are reporting cumulatively for the budget period. By that we mean your first biannual report will be equal to the expenses for the first half year of your project. Your next report will be the cumulative total for both reporting periods. Now to fill out the form. 10A, you're going to enter the amount of federal funds drawn down, which should be equal to the drawdown amount reported on your FFR for the same period. 10B, you're going to enter the amount of federal funds paid out. For cash-based accounting, A is going to equal B. For accrual-based accounting, B is usually greater than A. 10C, you're going to enter the amount when you take 10A and subtract 10B. For cash-based accounting, C should equal 0. For accrual-based accounting, it'll usually be a negative number representing the amount of money owed to grantees, which are funds that are expended but not yet reimbursed. Reporting now on your federal expenditures. For 10D, you're going to enter the total amount of federal funds that you're authorized, and this is going to be the same amount as box 20 in your Notice of Grant Award. 10E, you're going to enter the amount of federal funds expended, which is usually the same as 10B above. 10F is the total federal funds obligated but not paid out, which is the outstanding amounts owed to subrecipients, contractors, or vendors as of the reporting period end date. 10G, you're going to enter the sum of 10E and 10F. 10H, you're going to enter the remaining balance by subtracting. You're going to subtract 10G from 10D. The non-federal share. For your non-federal share, you're going to enter the amount of non-federal share required, which is the same as box 17 in your Notice of Grant Award. 10J, you're going to enter the amount of NFS expended, which should be equal to the amount documented in your grant file for the same period. 10K, you're going to enter the amount of non-federal shares still remaining. So you're going to take 10I and subtract 10J. Program income. The majority of A&A projects aren't income producing, but for those that are, this is where you'd report it. In 10L, enter the amount of program income earned during this period. 10M, you're going to leave blank because A&A uses the additional alternative rather than the deduction alternative. 10N, you're going to enter the project income amount expended. And 10O, you're going to enter the amount of income remaining, which is 10L minus 10N. Indirect. 11A, enter the type of indirect rate you have, which is usually provisional, fixed, or carry forward. 11B, enter your rate. 11C, you're going to enter the beginning and end dates for the period you're charging for. 11D, enter your base. 11E, enter the indirect amount charged, which is 11B times 11D. 11F, enter the federal amount charged, and usually 11F equals 11E, unless you're charging the government less than the indirect costs incurred. 11G, you're going to enter the totals for the columns 11D, 11E, and 11F. Another note, you cannot claim indirect costs if there is a restriction on your NGA under conditions. To get the restrictions lifted, you must submit a current indirect cost rate agreement to A&A through Grant Solutions. For more information, please contact your grants management specialist. For the certification section, on box 12, you're going to enter any explanation that you feel is necessary for anything you've entered on your report. For section 13A, C, D, and E, you're going to enter the information requested. And for 13B, you're going to have your authorized organizational representative sign your form. Saving your file. A&A requires that you use the following naming conventions. For your reports, you can use 425 and Q2 or Q4, whichever applies, and your 4-digit year. If you're doing revisions, all you simply do is add revised in parentheses after your file name. For your finals, you're going to use 425 final plus your 4-digit year. Submitting your report. You are no longer required to submit your reports to A&A by email. Instead, you must upload through your Grant Solutions account. And on the screen, we see the Grant Solutions login. It should be a familiar sight to you. The first thing you're going to do is log into your Grant Solutions account. The second thing you're going to do is click on the Grant Notes icon, which is located on the right-hand side of your Grant Solutions dashboard, and it looks like a little note. So you're going to click on there. When the window opens, you're going to select Add. You're going to fill in the required fields, but for category, please select Programmatic Report. For grant note type, select Correspondence. Click Browse to find and select your file, and click Upload. Congratulations! You've just completed your SF425 and you're now compliant. If you're still having issues filling out your form or have more questions, A&A provides free technical assistance provided by one of their 4 regional offices. To determine which office to contact, locate your state, and if you're in Alaska, here is your TA provider and their contact information. Hawaii, American Samoa, Guam, and CNMI, here is your TA provider. The green states are the Western region, here is your TA provider's information, and for the red states or the Eastern region, here is the contact information for your provider. On behalf of the Administration for Native Americans and your training and technical assistance providers, we thank you for attending SF425 tutorial, and we hope you find it very useful.